Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Welcome again to this wonderful session of the Gita course. Probably is one of the most important sessions of this Gita course, where we are going to the crux of the matter, trying to analyze how Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this will also lead probably to some interesting discussions. People will have different perspectives, and all different perspectives we have tried to answer in this discussion. Some people, they don't like the candid discussion which is put in as a part of this session, but most of the people, they like it. So let's begin this very, very important session, the part 2 of the session called as Who is the Real Boss? I think it was already clear in the previous slide who is the previous presentation, who is the real boss. Today we are going to further build upon it, and we are going to see it from the scriptural perspective, what the Shastras has to say about the real boss. So I will now share my screen. Are you able to see my screen? If you're able to see my screen, and if you can hear me clearly, then kindly please raise your hands. Okay, thank you very much. Start with the Kirtan. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Asatyadesatarine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Asatyadesatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasandi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasandi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijan Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijan Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यामुना तिरवनुचारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे हरिहराय नमः कृष्ण यादवाय नमः यादवाय माधवाय केशवाय नमः गोपाल गोविंदराम श्रीमधुसूदन गिरिधारी गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन 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 हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय प्रभुपदा प्रभुपदा श्रील प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा श्रील प्रभुपदा युग धर्म हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय। Welcome everybody to the part 2 of this session, which is entitled Who is the Real Boss? This session is dedicated to the founder Acharya of ISKCON, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, my spiritual grandfather. Before we begin this session, let's offer our respectful and pranams to him by offering the pranam mantras. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yutapadagammalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते. तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिन इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वत देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपा तमहं वन्दे श्री गुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानंद माधवं श्री चैतन्य ईश्वरं. हरि ओम तत्सत्. Hare Krishna. So we are again back in this wonderful session of the Gita course. And we are discussing a very, very important topic. Who is the real boss? So what we learned in the previous session is this. We learned the concept of the boss. We learned the definition of God. Is God a person or an impersonal light? We understood that there are various classifications in which God can be understood. To be precise, we learned that there are three levels of understanding of God, that is Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagwan, all being right. But we concluded that the maturest and the most advanced understanding of God is the understanding that the Supreme Absolute Truth is a person. His name is Krishna. He has a beautiful form. He has a name. He has qualities. He has his pastimes. He has his friends. He has his cows. He has feelings. So this is what we understood. The Supreme Absolute Truth is a person. But just because that person is so inconceivable from our tiny brains, so therefore sometimes there are some less intelligent people who claim that God has no form. Then also we discussed, are there one God? Is there one God or are there many gods? And then we discussed the definition of God. We saw the definition from Vishnu Puran, which talked about, written by Parashar Muni, which talked about the definition of God. Aishwaryasya samagrasya viryasya yashasasya jnana vairagya yoscheva sannam bhaga itingana. God is that personality who is most beautiful, most strong, most rich, most famous, most intelligent, and most renounced. So when these six qualities are found in maximum quantity, such that there is no one equaling it or nobody more ahead of it also, then that personality is called as Bhagwan. And we concluded that such qualities are shown only in the transcendental personality of Lord Sri Krishna. Today, we will cover the last 2 points. Although it looks like a small agenda, but actually it is a very vivid agenda. Most important, what the scriptures have to say about this. I've always been saying that we don't care for what people say. We only care for what the scriptures have to say. So today we will see what is the scriptural understanding of the definition of God and what do the scriptures say who is God. And we will see why is God all attractive unlike the other bosses. We have so many bosses, but we don't like them. God is also a boss. He's also Ishwar, but why everybody likes him. And lastly, we'll have the practical tip of the day. Okay, so I will just skip through some slides which have been already covered because this is pretty much clear to everybody. We saw the definition of Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagwan, which was the chief highlight of last session. And I hope all of you have taken out time to revisit again and understand it again. Okay, so now we will. What do the great devatas have to say, or what the scriptures have to say? Is there any confusion? Is there any kind of polling which is happening in the upper realms or in the higher realms? Is there any election campaign? Is there a competition where someone is trying to become superior compared to the other one? We'll just try to analyze that. Let's see what Brahma has to say. This is a very, very short and simple verse applicable in various areas. I would request the devotees to try to memorize this verse. Ishwaraha Paramaha Krishnaha Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govindaha Sarvakarana Karanam. That's how we sing it. Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the eternal supreme Godhead. He has an eternal, blissful, spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin. And he's the prime cause of all causes. That's the statement. Now, the Mayavadis, they say that he has no body. But Brahma says that he has an eternal spiritual body. And he's the origin of all. He has no other origin. Now, for the material mind, it is impossible, inconceivable, incomprehensible to understand how can someone who is existing have no origin, because we have never come across anything which claims that it has no origin. Everything has an origin from somewhere or the other. So therefore, that which is that subject matter which has no other origin, that is God. Therefore, we can clearly understand by just this mundane logic, this simple logic, this common sense logic, that God is beyond our understanding. That's why he's God, because he has no other origin. And he's the prime cause of all causes. Suppose you have something which is happening, and we find out the cause of this incident is this particular activity. Now, when you go to the cause of this particular activity, you'll find the super cause. Similarly, when you find the cause of the super cause, you'll find the super cause. Similarly, when you find the cause of the super cause, you'll find the super cause. So like this, when you go trying to find the cause of all the things, ultimately it will zero down to Krishna, because he's the cause of all causes. Sarva Karana Karanam. Very, very beautiful verse. And it says, Ishwaraha Paramaha Krishna. Ishwara means controller. Paramaha means supreme. Krishna. So the supreme controller amongst all controllers is Krishna. And he has a spiritual body. He is the supreme Godhead. He has an eternal spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin, and he's the prime cause of all causes. Now, something from the 10th canto, 14th chapter, shloka number 1. Shri Brahma Vacha Naumidyate Brahma. Sorry, let me see the meter of this. Naumidyate Bhravapushe Tadid Ambaraya Gunja Vatamsha Paripichala Mukhaya Vanye Sraje Kavala Vetra Vishana Venu Lakshma Shriye Mridupade Pashupangajaya. So this is from the 10th canto, chapter 14, shloka number 1, prayers of Lord Brahma. Brahma said, my dear Lord, you are the only worshipable Lord. I like the word when Brahma uses the qualifier only. You are the only worshipable Lord, the supreme personality of Godhead. Therefore, I offer my humble obeisances and prayers just to please you. O son of the king of cowherds. Brahma is making very clear who is God. He is the son of the king of the cowherds. Your transcendental body is dark blue like a new cloud. Your garment is brilliant like lightning, and the beauty of your face is enhanced by your gunja earrings and the peacock feather on your head. Wearing garlands of various forest flowers and leaves, and equipped with a herding stick, a buffalo horn, and a flute, you stand beautifully with a morsel of food in your hand. Now you tell me, only a less intelligent and an unfortunate person will say that God has no form. Brahma, who is the original propounder of Vedas, now these Mayavadis, they are actually studying Vedanta. Vedanta comes from the Vedas. And the original knower of the Vedas in this universe is Brahma. Because in the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, it has been clarified that Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavaye Muhyanti Yat Surya. The whole verse is Janmadyasya Yataha Itaratas Chartheshna Abhigya Swarat Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavaye Muhyanti Yat Suryaha. So Tene Brahma Hridaya. So the person who gave this Vedic knowledge into the heart of Brahma is Krishna, Vasudeva. And these Vedas are best known by Brahma. These Vedantists are studying an extract of the Vedas. Suppose if there is a very, very fat book, this much fat book, and somebody studies it for 1 year. And then before the examination, they have made notes of their study, which is like, let's say, 5 or 6 pages only. It's very condensed, extremely condensed. So naturally speaking, if somebody takes those condensed notes and studies, they will never understand what was there in the actual study. Only the person who knows all the Vedas, when they study that condensed notes, they'll be able to make any sense out of it. Others who will study, they will not be able to understand anything. So Vedanta is the condensed form of the Vedas. The sutras from the Vedas, the condensed sutras from Vedas have been written down in Vedanta. So only a person who has full knowledge of the Vedas will be able to understand the Vedanta. But these Vedantists, they have never read the Vedas. They just pick up the Vedantas and they pick up the Upanishads and they read something and they say that I am God, you are God, everybody is God. They don't know the Vedas. But Brahma actually knows the Vedas because he is the primeval teacher of the Vedas. He is the original propounder of the Vedas. Because from Brahma, the knowledge of Vedas has been propagated all throughout the universe. And that personality is telling that your transcendental body is like a dark blue like a new cloud. Your garment is brilliant like lightning. The beauty of your face is enhanced by gunja earrings. And the peacock feather on your head wearing garlands of various forest flowers and leaves and equipped with a herding stick, a buffalo horn, and a flute, you stand beautifully with a morsel of food in your hand. So now let me actually tell you the pastime during which Brahma has actually made this statement. So Krishna was executing his pastime. Many of you may know this. This is called as the Brahma Vimohan Leela. Krishna was executing or relishing his Leela or pastimes in Vrindavan. And these demigods, Brahma, Narada, Shiva, Indra, Chandra, Varuna, they all prayed to the Lord to descend on earth and relieve the burden of the earth. Now, when the Lord descended in the form of Krishna, like that is his original primeval form, when he descended, his pastimes were so inconceivable that even greatest of the greatest knowledgeable persons like Brahma, they also got bewildered. When Brahma saw the pastimes of the Lord, Lord was sitting and having lunch with his friends, and he saw that Krishna was eating from the plates of others. Sometimes he would take some morsel of food, feed it to others, and then eat himself. Sometimes he would take out something from the mouth of others and eat. And sometimes, when others would be looking somewhere else, he would take out his morsel and put in the plate of others. So these are inconceivable pastimes. Of course, the acharyas explain everything, why the Lord is doing it. But Brahma couldn't understand it. So he thought, how can this be the Supreme Personality of Godhead? You know, Lord Vishnu never eats anything which is jutha. It cannot be, in dream also, it cannot be thought that somebody can offer something which is contaminated or a remnant of someone else to Lord Vishnu. So how is it possible that the same Supreme Personality of Godhead is blissfully accepting remnants of food from others? So he got fully bewildered. He said that probably this is not my Lord. This is some big, powerful magician. So let me test him. Let me test whether this is my Lord or not. So what he did, Brahma came and kidnapped all the 10,000 boys, the friends, cowherd friends of Krishna, and the 9 lakh plus cows of Krishna. Everything was kidnapped by Brahma. And Brahma took them to a mystical, to a place in Brahmalok, and he put them in mystic slumber, just to see what the Lord will do, just to test Krishna. Just imagine, Brahma is a great devotee of the Lord, but he also got bewildered, confused by seeing the Leela Shakti of the Lord. Could not believe anything. So Krishna, he understood that this is Brahma who is bewildered and he was doing all these things. So Krishna instantaneously, he expanded himself in all the cows and all the other boys. It is said that the expansion was an individual expansion. It is not like all the boys were looking like Krishna or had characteristics of Krishna. No. Every expansion of Krishna was exactly similar to the other boy in whom Krishna had expanded. The voice was same, the walking style was same, the laughing style was same, the sleeping style was same, the eating style, everything was exactly identical. This shows that Krishna, being the Supreme Personality of Godhead, being the Paramatma in everyone's heart, he actually knows each and everybody. So he expanded like that in various boys, in various monkeys, in various parrots, in various calves, various cows, and all of them were actually Krishna. And then one moment or one muhurt passed by. So in the one muhurta of Brahmalok, which is somewhere around 48 minutes, is equal to 1 year on earth. So just imagine the lifespan of Brahma. So when one moment had passed, one muhurta had passed, Brahma came back to see what is actually happening. And then he saw Krishna is as usual playing and things are going as usual in Vrindavan. So then he became bewildered. And after that, just to make Brahma understand his position and the position of Lord Krishna started showing to Brahma what the reality is. So in front of the eyes of Brahma, all these cows, calves, monkeys, parrots and boys, they started assuming various Narayan Vishnu Murtis or Narayan forms, and they started merging in the body of Krishna, as if these forms were actually coming from Krishna. And all these Narayan forms, they were different. It is not like the same form or the same replica, no. Some Narayan had a conch in his right hand, some Vishnu form had a mace in his right hand, someone had a flower in the left hand, someone had a disc in the chakra in the left hand, someone had a dhoti in a different way, someone had... So it was clear that all these Vishnu Murtis, they had come from various universes simply to participate in Krishna Leela. And all of them, they merged into the body of Krishna. And then all of a sudden, Lord Brahma saw that there's only one small child, Krishna, sitting and nobody else is there. Earlier, so many people were there. And all these Narayan Vishnu forms, Vishnu Murtis, when they appeared in front of Lord Brahma, they were all different. All of them were being glorified by the residents of their particular universe. All of them were having All of them were standing with different kinds of paraphernalia. And Brahma was bewildered to see this. And Brahma was so much bewildered that he started fainting. And he was almost in a dead-like condition, dead-like state. So just taking pity on Brahma, Krishna stopped the display of his opulence and pulled the curtain of Yog Maya, and then all that Brahma could see was a small child sitting. And not sitting, but standing. So this is the scene where Krishna is just standing with some food in the left hand, and the description. Garment brilliant like lightning, beauty of face enhanced by gunja earrings, peacock feather, wearing a garland of forest flowers and equipped with a herding stick, buffalo horn, and a flute. You stand beautifully with a morsel of food in your hand. This is the Brahma Vimohan Leela pastime. Actually, to further put Brahma in a humble position, what Lord Krishna does is that he summons the Brahmas of all different universes. So every universe has a Shiva, has a Brahma, and has a Kshirodakshay Vishnu expansion. So he summoned Brahmas from various universes. Some of these Brahmas, our universe is probably, according to lectures which I have heard, is one of the smallest universes. And the complexity is very minimal. So therefore our Brahma is called Chaturmukhi Brahma, four-headed Brahma. But there are universes which are much bigger, much larger, much complex, so much so that their respective Brahmas, they have 1,000 heads, 10,000 heads, million heads, 10 million heads. So the whole picture is just the material world, not the spiritual world, just the material world. The whole picture is much bigger, much larger, and much more complex than what we can possibly imagine. And Krishna had summoned the Brahmas of all the universes. And when this Chaturmukhi Brahma, when he saw other Brahmas, he became bewildered. He thought that only I am Brahma. But he was seeing there are so many other Brahmas who have come here. And then when Brahma realizes his position, and then when he realizes the true position of Krishna, he offers the 14th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto is just the prayers of Brahma. And these prayers are wonderful prayers of Brahma. So I just gave you the link. I just gave you the pastime just to give you the link so that you can understand who is Krishna and whether he is the supreme boss or not. And plus, the most knowledge personality like Chaturmukhi Brahma is clearly describing his form, but still see the audacity of some less intelligent people. They say that God has no form and no name. This is real stupidity. Now, let's come to Lord Shiva. There are some people who say that Lord Shiva is the supreme. Hiranyakashipu used to pray to Lord Brahma, thinking Lord Brahma is supreme. Ravan used to also pray to Lord Brahma to get benedictions, thinking that Brahma is supreme. Now, there are some people who say that Lord Shiva is supreme. But let's see what Lord Shiva himself has to say. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam, again, 4th canto, chapter 4, shloka number 42, called as Rudra Gita. Just like there is Bhagavad Gita, there is something called as Rudra Gita. Namasta Ashisham Misha Manave Karanatmane Namo Dharmaya Brihate Krishnaya Kuntamedhase Purushasya Puranaya Sankhya Yogeshwaraya Cha. My dear Lord, you are the topmost of all bestowers of all benediction, the oldest and the supreme enjoyer amongst all enjoyers. You are the master of all the world's metaphysical philosophy, and you are the supreme cause of all causes, Lord Krishna. So Krishnaya Kuntha Medhase. So the word Krishna, Lord Shiva clearly uses the word Krishna also, that you are the supreme cause of all causes, Lord Krishna. You are the greatest of all religious principles, the supreme mind. You have a brain which is never checked by any condition. Therefore, I repeatedly offer my obeisances unto you. Again, I'll give you some link of the pastime which is happening here. So there was a group of 10 boys called as the Prachetas, son of King Prachini Barhi. They had a desire to get married, but it is not like Kali Yuga. Simply go to some matrimonial website, choose someone and get married and start living like cats and dogs. They decided to perform austerities in order to become qualified to enter Grihasthashram. So these people who are standing here, they are the Prachetas. They entered a pond And the description of the pond is very nicely given. And underwater, they performed austerities for 10,000 years. But before they could start the performance of their austerities, simply when Lord Shiva saw that here is a group of pure devotees who has made a firm determination to execute tapasya for the pleasure of Lord Krishna, Lord Shiva came running from Kailash just to give them the Rudra Gita or the instruction so that they could be fixed up in the process of devotional service for the next 10,000 years underwater. So needless to say, there are so many people who are trying to satisfy Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva is Ashutosh. He gets pleased very, very easily. But the Prachetas, simply by having a sincere desire to execute devotional service to Lord Krishna, they pleased Lord Shiva even without making any effort. So this shows that simply if someone becomes a devotee of Krishna, all the other demigods and even the master of all the demigods, such as Lord Shiva, all of them are automatically pleased, implicitly pleased with a person who is a devotee of Lord Krishna. That's the purport which we have to understand. Rudra Gita is wonderful. I recommend, if somebody has time, they can check with me. I can send the verse numbers, they can read it. Again, in an earlier place, Lord Shiva is speaking about Krishna again. Satvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Shabditam Yat Iyate Tatra Puman Apavratah Satve Chatasmin Bhagavan Vasudevo Hya Adhokshajo Me Namasa Vidhiyate. So the words Vasudeva and Adhokshaj clearly identify whom Lord Shiva is talking about. And he's speaking this to Parvati. What is he saying? I am always engaged in offering obeisances to Lord Vasudeva in pure Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is always pure consciousness in which the Supreme Personality of Godhead, known as Vasudeva, is revealed without any covering. Further on, now I will go to the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where the Mohini avatar happens. And then Lord Shiva makes a statement again. Shri Mahadeva Uvacha Deva Deva Jagat Vyapin Jagad Isha Jaganmaya Sarvesham Api Bhavanam Tvam Atma Heturishwaraha. So I've highlighted some sections in bold just to highlight some points. Lord Mahadev said, O chief demigod among the demigods, O all-pervading Lord, Master of the universe, by your energy, you are transformed into the creation. You are the root cause. You are the root and efficient cause of everything. You are not material. Indeed, you are the super soul or the supreme living force of everything. Therefore, you are the Parameshwara, the supreme controller of all controllers. In one sense, Lord Shiva is Ishvara. Lord Shiva is not Jeev Tattva. Brahma is Jeev Tattva, Jivatma, a perfected Jivatma. But higher than Brahma is Lord Shiva. And that Lord Shiva is Ishvara Tattva, strictly speaking. But Krishna is in the Bhagwan category, or the Paramatma or Bhagwan category. So in between Bhagwan and Paramatma and Jivatma is Ishvara, that is Lord Shiva. And this Ishvara is telling that you, O Lord Krishna, you are a Param Ishvara, the supreme controller of all controllers. So just again, today I have some time, so I will tell some more pastimes just to give you the link. So this is the Mohini avatar. So Lord Shiva is one of the is the foremost Vaishnava. He's the topmost devotee of Lord Vishnu or Krishna. So when this Samudra Manthan was happening, Lord Shiva is generally very detached from such kitty parties and the other arrangements which these demigods make. He's not involved in most of the things. Demigods, they are not pure devotees. These Indra, Chandra, Varuna, they are not pure devotees. They are exalted personalities. They are existing in the super excellent quality of goodness, but they have some desires. Not strictly Krishna conscious. So Lord Shiva does not like their association very much. He tries to avoid them as much as possible. Abhishek Mishra Prabhu is asking a question. Why is Lord Shiva referring Krishna as a demigod here? Where did you see the word demigod? O chief demigod among the demigods. See, demigod, yes. Sometimes demigod is used for a person, or demigod is a phrase or a term used for devatas. So devata is generally translated as demigod. So one who is the topmost devata amongst all devatas. So, O chief demigod amongst the demigods, like that. Deva Deva Jagat Vyapin. You see the Sanskrit usage, Deva. The demigod exactly means Deva. So Deva Deva Jagat Vyapin means one who is the topmost Deva again amongst all the Devas. So that in English translation, sometimes the meaning can be. So therefore, we have to refer both English, Sanskrit and English to understand the clarity. So, O chief demigod amongst the demigods. That is how the statement is. Okay, moving further. So, Lord Shiva is little detached from all these demigods affairs and demigod society. So, when this ocean churning was happening, he didn't want to be a part of it. He didn't want all this Kamadhenu and Airavat and all those things. He was not least bothered about it. He was busy chanting his Hare Krishna Mahamantra. But when the poison came out, at that time on the direction, so the Samudra Manthan is a wonderful pastime. If somebody really wants to understand leadership qualities, they should learn how Lord Vishnu actually controlled the whole Samudra Manthan. First of all, he gave an advice to the demigods how to make a treaty with the demons, and he brought in the concept of political science at that point of time. And then he asked the demigods to get the Mandara mountain, but the demigods, it was so heavy that they were not able to lift it. They were being crushed under it. So Lord Vishnu personally came, lifted the Mandara mountain on with his left hand, kept it on Garuda, and brought it into the milk ocean. And then churning, they required a rope. So the Lord ordered Vasuki to come there. And then during the churning, people were getting very tired. But even before the churning, there had to be a basement where the Mandara mountain could be kept stably. So Lord himself took the Kachap or the tortoise avatar and allowed the Mandara mountain to be placed on him. Even after that, the pivot of the mountain was not stable, the center of gravity was not proper. So he himself took another avatar called as Acyuta avatar and placed himself on the top of the mountain just to keep things stable. And then still the demigods were not able to churn it. So he himself expanded in two forms and went on both sides and started pulling. And it was very trouble. It was very tiring work. So clouds of rain showers were coming. That was also, by the mercy of the Lord. So he only did everything. But the demigods and the demons were thinking that they are doing everything. So when the poison came, Lord Shiva, Acyuta, he instructed the demigods that you go to Lord Shiva. He can help you to get rid of this poison. So Lord Shiva, when he comes there, he just concentrates all the poison in some few droplets. He drinks it and just leaves. And then another incarnation of the Lord called Dhanvantari comes out with the pot of nectar. And then that is stolen away by the demons. So then just to bewilder the demons, and make sure that this is given to the demigods because they are the rightful owners of it. They are the devotees of the Lord, unlike the demons. So Lord assumes the Mohini Murti form and she bewilders. There is a very nice discussion happening between the demons and the Mohini avatar. That's another pastime. So the demons agree to allow Mohini to do whatever she wants. Mohini says that, do you agree that whatever I do, whether it is fair or unfair, honest or dishonest, you will accept it? And the demons thought that, yes, we'll accept it. Everybody, whether it was a demon or a demigod, everybody who saw Mohini felt that Mohini is in love with me. And nobody wanted to do anything or say anything, fearing that if I say something or do anything, Mohini will not be merciful towards me. So this is how the illusory potency of the Lord works. But unfortunately, Lord Shiva was not there. So Lord Shiva came to know that, oh, Mohini came and went, and I didn't even see her. So he, along with his wife, went to Kailash, along with all the people of Kailash, Nandi and others. And he said that, Lord, till now, whatever incarnation you have taken, I have seen, I have witnessed all of them. But somehow I could not see the first day, first show of Mohini. I want to see. And then Kshirodakshay Vishnu, or that form of Vishnu which is residing at the milk ocean, that is the only form which the demigods of this universe can interact. They cannot interact with Garbhodakshay Vishnu or Karanadakshay or Mahavishnu. They cannot interact with those forms of Vishnu. So they went to Kshirodakshay Vishnu, that form of Vishnu lying on the milk ocean. And Lord Shiva made this proposal, and Lord Vishnu said, are you sure you want to see that form? Lord Shiva said, yes. Lord Vishnu advised him that, it is not very good to see that form. I suggest you please don't insist too much. But Lord Shiva said, no, I do want to see. I want to see. And then immediately Lord Vishnu manifested himself as Mohini. And you can see there is a small ball here, this ball. And she's in the form of Mohini, in this kind of a beautiful appearance. She started playing with that ball. And Lord Shiva, when he saw that, he went crazy. In front of Parvati, he forgot everything and he started running behind Mohini from one place to another place. And Mohini, he took Lord Shiva through those places where there were different saintly personalities meditating on Lord Shiva so that they can be removed from the clutches of Maya. And Mohini took them through those sages only. And when these sages, when they saw we are meditating on Lord Shiva, we are performing yajna for Lord Shiva, but in front of us, Lord Shiva is running behind a woman. So ultimately, when this illusory power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead was removed, or when Lord Shiva came back to his senses, he became very happy. So this shows the greatness of Lord Shiva. If there is any other person who has been, you can say, humiliated like this in one way, he will become very angry. But Lord Shiva, being Mahadev, he did not see this as a humiliation. He said, he saw it that whatever comes from the Lord, it is his prasad. So it is your mercy that you have made me an instrument in your pastimes just to give an instruction to the entire human society. And by this great saintly nature of Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu became so pleased that he said that henceforth Maya will never be able to touch you. And Lord Shiva said, yes, I know that. And he was telling that, my Lord, I was not in Maya. Maya could not touch me, I know, because I'm always chanting your holy name. Only you can do this to me. Nobody else can do this to me. My wife is Maya personified. Now I'm sitting hold all the time with Maya. She cannot do anything to me. But only you can make me dance like a puppet. So I'm very, very happy. Please dance. Please make me dance as you like. Like that, Lord Shiva is very beautiful prayers. Lord Shiva is making, and Lord Vishnu gets really pleased and gives him many, many benedictions after that. So even Lord Shiva confirms that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now in Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma is also saying something. Kshiram yatha dadi vikara vishesha yogat sanjayate nahi tatah prithagasti hetoho yah shambhutam api tatha samupaiti karyad govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Lord Shiva is considered to be like yogurt or dadhi or curd. Yogurt is nothing but transformed milk. Nonetheless, yogurt cannot be accepted as milk. Who is saying this? Brahma is saying this. Similarly, Lord Shiva holds almost all the powers of Lord Vishnu, and he is above the qualities of the living entity, meaning Jiva Tattva, but he is not exactly like Vishnu. Just as yogurt, although transformed milk, is not exactly like milk. This is the explanation given by Lord Brahma. Again, when you go to the purport of this verse, you'll find much more details, difference between Krishna and Vishnu, and sorry, Krishna and Shiva. But this is the summary of the entire difference. You can get yogurt out of milk, but from yogurt you cannot get milk. So milk is the source of yogurt, but yogurt cannot become the source of milk, although both are essentially milk. This is the understanding. And also one point we have to understand, that when some amount of culture or some amount of, you can say, little bit contamination comes in milk, some culture comes in milk, then it becomes yogurt. So from this you can just make some assumption, some understandings. Another way to put it as that Krishna, Lord Shiva, is also one of the forms of Krishna, one of the expansions of Krishna, which is in touch with the material energy. Now we have read that Krishna is never affected by the material nature. He's never, although he's here, but he's not here. We have heard such statements by Lord Brahma and various other living entities. Now that form of Krishna, or that expansion of Krishna, which when staying here actually comes in touch with the material energy or the material nature, such that there is slight level of culture in it, then that personality is called as Lord Shiva. So you can read the purport more to understand. Now, there are so many personalities who say, I'm just taking one by one all the arguments which have come to me in various sessions of it. Some people say, okay, not Lord Shiva, not Lord Brahma. Adi Shakti is the supreme, it's the source of all creations. Now, there are some concocted concocted contemporary literatures, books, which talk about stupid things, versions, that Adi Shakti is the original source and from her all this Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva have come. But that is not the reality. Let's see what Adi Shakti has to say. When Vasudev had exchanged the daughter of Nand Maharaj and brought her to Mathura in the prison house, and when Kamsa had come to kill her, Krishna has been swapped or transported to Gokul, and okay, I have got a chat message saying that my voice is breaking. Is my voice better now? I make some audio settings changes. Am I audible? If I'm audible, please type yes in the chat box. Okay, thank you. Please stop the chat. Okay, so when Kamsa tries to kill the 8th child of Devaki, which has been swapped actually and is a daughter, then we have all seen in various serials also that she flies away from the hand of Kamsa and she assumes the form of Durga in the sky. And then she makes some statements. What are those statements? She says, Kim maya hataya manda jataha khalu tavantakrit yatra kva va purva shatrur mahimsihi kripanan vritha. 10.4.12 Srimad Bhagavatam. Devotees can note down these verse numbers and go back and refer. Okay, so she's saying, oh Kamsa, you fool. What will be the use of killing me? Now we'll see the words which Mother Durga is using. She's saying, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has been your enemy from the very beginning and who will certainly kill you, has taken his birth somewhere else. Therefore, do not unnecessarily kill other children. So she uses the term the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, I will give one more reference. Lord Brahma. Now, one may say that, some people say that Durga is the sister or devotee, so that is why she's speaking like that. But Brahma is a neutral third party. Let's see what Brahma is saying. Brahma Samhita 5.44. Shrishti sthiti pralaya sadhana shakti reka छाये वयस्य भुवनानि बिभर्ति दुर्गा इच्छानुरूपम अपि यस्य च चेष्टते सा गोविंदमादि पुरुषं तमहं भजामि. Lord Brahma says the external potency Maya, who is of the nature of shadow or chit potency. Someone asked me what is the relationship between Krishna and Durga. This is the nature, this is the relation. She is the chit shakti of the Lord. Chit potency. So external potency, and she is an external energy of the Lord. The external potency Maya, who is of the nature of the shadow of the Chit potency, is worshipped by all people as Durga, the creating, preserving, and the destroying agency in this mundane world. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, in accordance to whose will Durga conducts herself. So this line, Chaye vayasya bhuvanani bibharti Durga. She's like a shadow. Whatever, like our shadow, how does the shadow act? Shadow acts exactly in accordance to the body of the spirit soul. So whatever the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna wants, Durga conducts herself exactly as per the will or as per the shadow of the will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. How can people say that the shadow is the originator of the body? This is a very stupid statement. This has been there even when in the 10th canto in the Bhagavatam, the Lord orders this Maya Shakti that you please go and transfer Balram from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini. So this photo has been taken there from that scene, where she takes the instructions from Lord Krishna and then she circumambulates Lord Krishna, and then she goes and performs this task, and then she later takes birth as the daughter of Mother Yashoda, and the swapping happens, and since that time she's being worshipped as Durga. So these are the statements. Now finally, let's see what Krishna himself has to say in the Bhagavad Gita. Mayadhyakshena prakritihi suyate sacharacharam hetu nanena kaunteya jagat viparivartate. The material nature is working under my direction, O son of Kunti, and it is producing all moving and unmoving beings. By its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again and again. Chapter 9, Shloka 10, most confidential knowledge. Mayadhyakshena prakritihi. What is prakriti? Material nature. What is material nature? Durga. Now, what Krishna is saying, Mayadhyakshena, the material nature is working under my direction. There are some people who worship Mother Nature. What are you? I'm a worshipper of Mother Nature. Now, I want to save trees. I want to save the animals. I want to save the planet. That's very nice. That's a very nice sentiment. You have a lot of attachment to your mother. Very good. But please don't forget your father. Mother Nature is Mother Durga, but she is working under the direction of the Supreme Father, Lord Krishna. Mayadhyakshena prakritihi suyate sacharacharam. Very, very powerful statement. Krishna has absolutely left no scope for doubt for anybody. Only those people who don't read the Bhagavad Gita and don't attend the Gita course, they will have such confusions. Prabhuji, Mata Adi Shakti is Maya. Yes, Mata Adi Shakti is Maya only. Okay. Now, Deepmala Golani Mataji is asking a question. Do all other planets have the same Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, what we read here on earth? I don't think so. In fact, in some lectures I have heard that the Srimad Bhagavatam on earth has 18,000 verses, but the same Srimad, not the same, but the Srimad Bhagavatam on the higher planetary systems which the demigods read, they have billions of verses. So this is what I've heard. But the essence is the same. It is not like the Bhagavatam on the planet Earth is saying Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the Bhagavatam, which is in Amravati, the capital of Indra, says that Brahma is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. No. The essence is the same. Both Bhagavatams will speak that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is just that the pastimes of Lord Krishna are described in much more detail in the higher planetary systems, more number of verses. And on earth, it is just 18,000 verses because the capacity of people is Manda, Sumanda, Matayo, Manda, Bhagi. So it is 18,000 verses. People have no confidence whether they'll be able to read. 700 verses of Bhagavad Gita also people are not able to read. So what is the point? So I hope this question gets answered to Deep Malabalani Mataji. But one thing is there. Only on earth we have the purports of Srila Prabhupada. This I can assure you. Such purports are not available anywhere else in the creation. That is why even demigods, when they come and they read the books of Srila Prabhupada, they get so astounded and surprised that such a crystal clear understanding of the Krishna consciousness has been rendered in these books. Many demigods are waiting to take birth in Kali Yuga, simply to take part in the Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya and distribute the books of Srila Prabhupada. This I can guarantee you. I can guarantee you this is the reality. More than this I cannot reveal, but this is the truth. Once Srila Prabhupada, when he was having his body massage, every afternoon he used to have oil massage sitting in the sun. So he used to call his secretary or servant and he used to ask him to read some book, Krishna book or the Bhagavatam or something. So this servant used to always think that I have never seen any author who likes reading his own books. So one day, out of curiosity, he asked Srila Prabhupada that, Srila Prabhupada, why do you read your own books? So Srila Prabhupada just thought little, he became a little grave, took a pause, and then he answered, I read these books because every time when I read these books, I learn a lot from them. So the servant said, Prabhupada, but you are the author of these books. Then Prabhupada nodded his head slowly and said, I am not the author of these books. Krishna is the author of these books. Every time in the night at 11 o'clock, from 11 o'clock till morning 4 o'clock, when I sit down to write these books, Krishna personally comes and sits next to me and tells me what to write so that the people of Kali Yuga can understand. And when he said this, that it is mentioned in the memories and the Prabhupada Lilamrita, it is mentioned that when he said this, the whole room becomes stunned and silent for many minutes. Nobody spoke anything. Neither Prabhupada said anything after that, nor the servants asked anything, and the massage was going on. And then this servant, he says that he was feeling ecstatic. He was thinking that I'm just next to a person who is next to God. That means I'm just one person far away from God. So these kind of understandings and realizations they were getting. So coming back to the question of Deepmala Golani Mataji, it is true that the scriptures are a little bit more elaborate in different places, but no other place you'll get the purports of Srila Prabhupada. This is the summum bonum of all the scriptures and all the versions of all what the Devatas and the Devis and Mahadev and Adi Shakti and whoever, everybody what they say, I have summarized. Even after this, if there is some disagreement, then it is very difficult to explain henceforth. There shouldn't be any disagreement after this. Only idiots, they are arguing amongst themselves who is the Supreme. But in actuality, there is no doubt, no discussion also who is the Supreme. The scriptures have made it very clear. Bhagavad Gita has made it very clear. And if you say that Ganesha is the Supreme, when you actually meet Ganesha, you ask him also that you please tell me who is the Supreme. And Ganesha will let you know. Actually, all those people who are worshipping demigods, you please do this exercise. For the next 1 week, you sit and chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra in front of the demigod and you pray to that demigod that you please reveal to me what is the highest, supreme, absolute truth. Because Krishna is reality, because these demigods are reality, they will tell you what is the highest supreme absolute truth. They will take you to the supreme absolute truth. At least they will give you some idea of what the supreme absolute truth is. Those people who are thinking that these demigods, Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Ganesha, they are all supreme personalities, you please pray to them that you please reveal to me what is the supreme absolute truth. And these demigods, they will actually take you whenever they see that there is a sincere soul who really wants to know the truth. They take these souls and they, somehow engage them in the association of the devotees of the Lord, and they make some arrangements by which they come to know what is the supreme personality of God. Who is the supreme personality of God? However, those who are very materialistic, who are envious, like Hiranyakashipu and Ravan, although they knew who is the supreme personality, still they are worshipping someone. To such people, demigods also don't interfere. They are like, okay, you are worshipping me, what do you want? Take this and get lost. That is the mood of these demigods. However, all those who really like worshipping demigods, you do this experiment. And next week you come back and tell it to me. What is your realization? These demigods, they will take you, they will guide you to help you to understand who is the supreme personality. They'll make you understand that Mother Saraswati is not the supreme personality, or Mother Durga is not the supreme personality. Ganesha is not the supreme personality. Kartikeya is not the supreme personality. Krishna is the supreme personality of God. They'll help you to understand this, provided you have an unbiased mind. Okay? Now that you have the understanding that Krishna is the supreme personality of God, don't become disrespectful to the demigods also. That, oh, you people are not supreme, so get lost. No. A Vaishnava is respectful to even a small ant. What to speak about demigods who are nice, elevated devotees of Krishna? We have to see them as Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, and we have to respect them. They are devotees. We have to respect them. And what prayer should a devotee make to these demigods? Oh Lord Shiva, please bless me so that I can have the same taste in chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra which you have. Oh Mother Durga, please bless me so that I can advance in my Krishna consciousness and become a pure devotee of Krishna. Oh Lord Ganesh, please help me to have one fraction of attraction towards Lord's Narsimhadev like which you have. So like this, we have to make some earnest prayers in front of these demigods, and by the blessings of these demigods, we will advance in Krishna consciousness, and we may attain the lotus feet of Lord Krishna also. So this is the right understanding. Now, the next point which I want to discuss is why God is all attractive unlike other bosses. This is very, very important point. Now, I have selected some pastimes from various places. Sulbha Parki Mataji is asking, Krishna is avatar of Sri Vishnu. Krishna is a avatar of Sri Vishnu. Why not Vishnu? Okay, Mataji, I have explained this many times before, that Krishna is not an avatar of Lord Vishnu. I will repeat this 5 times more. Krishna is not an avatar of Lord Vishnu. Krishna is not an avatar of Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu is an expansion of Krishna. Lord Vishnu is an expansion of Krishna. Lord Vishnu is an expansion of Lord Krishna. Lord Vishnu is an expansion of Lord Krishna. Now you don't get confused. The problem is these serials, they are showing non-bona fide things, and people are seeing these serials and getting confused. Please understand it very clearly. Just now we read Ishwaraha Paramaha Krishnaha Satchidananda Vigraha. Krishna's plenary expansion is Lord Vishnu. So Lord Vishnu is not the Supreme Personality. Of course, there is no difference in one way between Krishna and Vishnu, but Krishna is the source of Vishnu. Vishnu is not the source of Krishna. The source of all Vishnu Tattvas is Krishna. When the Brahma Mohan Leela was happening, I explained so many Vishnu Murtis came and they all merged in the body of Krishna. Okay, Vinita Krishnamurthy Mataji is asking some questions, saying that I have not responded. What is the question, Mataji? Can you type again? I have lost it. Okay. The Srimad Bhagavad Gita makes it very clear as to who is the boss. But why do different Puranas contradict each other and create confusion among us? Mataji, you please bring some references from those Puranas. You please bring those Puranas and let's sit and read it together. The problem is that please don't take this. This is not to Krishna Karunamurthy Prabhu or Vinita Mataji. This is a general statement which I'm making. The problem is that nobody knows ABCD of any Puran. Everybody goes to Quora. Everybody goes to Hinduism stackexchange.com. And in such places, they read a few things, they pick up some ideas, and they come and say, Puranas are creating confusion. You show me one line from any Puran, which has actually, I quoted so many Puranas here. At least I don't see any discrepancy. First of all, nobody knows Sanskrit. We don't know whether the translations which are being given on Quora, they are bona fide or not. And for people who know Sanskrit, who can actually analyze these Puranas, we should go and sit with them. First of all, let's have a copy of Puran amongst ourselves first. Nobody has any copy also. And then we make statements that why do Puranas create confusion amongst us? Which Purana says that Krishna is not the Supreme Personality of God? Vyasdev is the author of all Puranas. He is the author of Srimad Bhagavatam. He is the author of Bhagavad Gita. How is it possible that Vyasdev in one Purana will say that someone else is the Supreme Personality? Narad Puran, he will say Narad is the Supreme Personality. Or Varaha Puran, he says something else, and Bhagavatam, he's saying something else. This is not possible. The author is the same, Mataji. If there is any confusion, it is our poor fund of knowledge and it is our improper understanding of the picture. That is why we feel. Otherwise, till now, whatever I have read, I have not read everything, to be honest. But whatever I have read, I have never seen any discrepancy anywhere. And I also have full faith in Srila Prabhupada and what Vyasdev is telling in Srimad Bhagavatam, the first verse, Janmad yasya yataha itaratas chartheshna abhigyas swarat. He has made it very clear that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God. Why will the same author write otherwise in other Puranas? However, point to be noted is, not all Puranas are in the mode of goodness. So therefore, not all Puranas are worth a reading also. Some Puranas are simply meant for the people who are in the mode of ignorance, to uplift them to the mode of passion. Some Puranas are meant for people who are in the mode of passion to uplift them in the mode of goodness. Some Puranas are in the mode of goodness. Srimad Bhagavatam is beyond goodness, passion, and ignorance. So therefore, Vaishnavas, they don't bother so much about other Puranas. They are happy reading Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. Because the Bhagavatam is the rightmost fruit of the entire Vedic tree. Amongst the 18 Puranas, 108 Upanishads, and the 4 Vedas, the ripest summum bonum of everything is Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the statement of Narad Muni. Okay, I will take 1 or 2 questions more and then continue. Lakshmi Y, can you please help elaboration the Dashavatara Stotram, which include Krishna and Balram? Mataji, Dashavatara Stotram is written by Jayadev Goswami, and he never says the name of Krishna in the Dasha Avataras. He says the name of Balram, and after Balram, he moves on to Buddha, and then he moves on to Kalki. You please read carefully the Dashavatara Stotram. He never says that Krishna is the source. Krishna is an avatar. Rather, in every verse, he says Keshava Dhrita Vamana Rupa, Keshava Dhrita Buddha Sharira, Keshava Dhrita Kalki Rupa, Keshava Dhrita Narahari Rupa. So all these examples, all these avatars, they are actually Krishna who is assuming these forms. But Jayadev Goswami never says that Krishna is also an avatar. Krishna is avatari. He is the source of all avatars. Keshava Dhrita Narahari Rupa, Keshava Dhrita Vamana Rupa. This is the statement in Dashavatara Stotram. You please read it carefully and then you get back to me. Balram is there, Parshuram is there, Matsya, Varaha, Kurma, all these are there, but Krishna's name is not there in the list of 10 avatars or the 10 Leela avatars. Why? Because Krishna is not an avatar. Krishna is the source of all avatars. He's avatari. Now, wherever you see that in the photo of 10 avatars, they are putting Krishna also, that is illusion, that is lack of knowledge, poor fund of knowledge. At least knowledgeable people like Jaydev Goswami and the authors of Dashavatara Stotram, they don't write like this. But we have some problem understanding it. Okay. Many questions. In earlier shloka of Srimad Bhagavatam 10.14.1, Krishna was referred to the son of king of cowherds. What do we infer from this? Since there is no father of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Indeed, there is no father of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the source of all cause of all causes. Basically, Brahma is here trying to highlight that don't think that God has no relationships. The devotees of Krishna, they want to serve Krishna with so much love and affection. And Krishna also becomes subservient to his devotees that he allows someone to become his father and mother. That is the intent of Brahma to say here, that although you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but you are controlled by Mother Yashoda, you are bound by Mother Yashoda. That is your greatness. Although you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but you become a charioteer for your devotees. So the Bhaktavatsal nature of the Lord is being highlighted. Also, Brahma wanted to make it very clear and no doubt at all, no speculation, no confusion, scope he wanted to leave. He wanted to make it clear. The son of Devaki and the son of the king of cowherds, sorry, in this case, the son of king of cowherds, that means the son of Nand Maharaj is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He wanted to make it very clear. So some people would have said, oh, Brahma is not talking about this Krishna, but he's talking about Brahman Krishna or something. He wanted to make it very clear that son of Nand Maharaj is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, Abhishek Mishra, Durga. What is the question? Durga Sapta Shati, considered as Puran. I don't think so. The list of 18 Puranas can be easily found on ISKCON Desire Tree. You can check there. Durga Sapta Shati is not the name mentioned in 18 Puranas. Okay. Matsya Kurma, Varaha, Nrsimha, Vamana, Ramasya, Buddha, Kalki, Chadasa. Okay, yeah. These are the list of 8 Puranas. So 2 times Ramasya is there. We have to check. One Ram is the son of King Dashrath, and one Ram is the son of Mother Rohini. And Buddha and Kalki, yeah. So the name of Krishna is not there, you see. Okay, I hope that I have fulfilled all the doubts. Now I want to move a little fast, okay, because question and answers are ideally meant for Tuesday, but we have taken it because I understand that some people may be having some doubts and may be having some confusions. So now I have taken some pastimes, and from those pastimes, I have taken few verses so that I may be able to highlight why, although Krishna is the boss, but everybody likes this boss. Aho Baki, what is this verse? Aho Baki. How would you say it? Aho Bakiyam Stanakalakutam Jigham Sayapaya Yad Apyasadhi Lebhe Gatim Dhatrim Kvachito Tato Lebhim Gatim Dhatri Uchitam Tatonyam Kamba Dayalum Sharanam Brajema. Sorry. Alas, how shall I take shelter of one more merciful than he who granted the position of mother to a she-demon, although she was unfaithful and she prepared deadly poison to be sucked from her breast? Just think. If somebody comes to kill us, somebody comes to murder us or poison us, and we know it, then what we will do? Probably we'll take a gun and shoot that person and say that in self-defense I killed. Or maybe we'll first beat them up. Very nicely, we'll beat them up. The frustration which I have on my boss, the frustration which I have on my husband, the frustration which I have on my brother, the frustration which I have on my wife, in my in-laws, everything I'll take out on that person first, and then I will hand him over to the police, and then I'll take him to court, and I'll make sure that he dies. Why? Because he tried to kill me. This is how people will react. But just see how Krishna reacted. When I sometimes talk about the Putana Leela, I try to talk about the 19 reasons which Acharyas give why Krishna had closed his eyes and while killing Putana. Few reasons I will give now. When Krishna saw that Putana has come in front of him, he closed his eyes and he was scanning all the past lifetimes of Putana to see that even if she has done one single devotional service offenselessly, then I will give her eternal life in Golok Vrindavan as a result of that. This is the mood of Krishna. Although we are fallen, we may be bad, we may be demonesses. What did Putana do? She would just kill innocent children, young children, and take out the liver and heart of these young children and eat. This was the occupation. Okay, chats keep coming, so I'm getting a little sidetracked. Naresh Prabhu is saying, हमारे धर्म में है प्रश्न उठाए. प्रभु जी, हमारे धर्म में ही प्रश्न उठाए जाते हैं, बुरी बात नहीं है. धार्मिक पुस्तकें अध्ययन करो, परंतु आज के युग में भगवान कृष्ण ही मान लेते हैं. भगवान कृष्ण ही मान लेने से मानव कल्याण हो सकता है. हमारे धर्म में ही प्रश्न उठाए जाते हैं, बुरी बात नहीं है. धार्मिक पुस्तकें अध्ययन करो, परंतु आज के युग में भगवान कृष्ण ही मान लेने से मानव कल्याण हो सकता है. Okay, maybe he's trying to say that simply if you understand that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, again this statement is little bit flawed. नरेश प्रभु, आपने सिर्फ मानव कल्याण की बात की है, बट शास्त्र और मुनिगण, ऋषिगण, भगवान के भक्त केवल मानव कल्याण की बात नहीं करते हैं, वो जगत कल्याण की बात करते हैं. We are not here to deliver simply the human beings. We are here to deliver the small ant, the trees, the birds, the flowers, the fruit, everything we want to take back home, back to Godhead. So this idea of Manav Seva, Manav Kalyan is a very nice idea, but sometimes it gets distracted. कि मानव कल्याण संभव है. Why Manav Kalyan? Why not Jan Kalyan? A person who has taken birth in India is called Indian, but the cow who has taken birth in India is not called Indian. The cow is sent to a slaughterhouse. If you kill an Indian, you will be sent to jail. But when you kill a cow or when you kill a goat and eat, you will not be sent to jail. Why? Because they are not given the right to sit. The word praja means one who has taken birth in a particular kingdom. If an ant has taken birth, if I am a king and if an ant has taken birth in my kingdom, then my ant is also my praja. So talking simply about, although your sentiment is very right, that simply by understanding Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all the problems of human society will be solved, which is correct. But again, this is not the complete picture. The complete picture is simply by considering Krishna to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the problems of the entire material world will be solved. So let's not have a narrow mind. I'll come back to the verse and I'll not see the chat now because I want to focus on the flow which is here. So Krishna was scanning on the various lifetimes just to see if she has done something good so that I can forgive her. Another reason why Krishna had closed his eyes was because he was about to start his pastimes and he was about to start killing the demons who are the burden on the earth. And he was sad that he has to start by killing a woman. This is one of the reasons why he closed his eyes. Another reason why he closed his eyes, because Putana had come disguised as a Vrajavasi. So if Krishna would have actually opened his eyes and seen Putana, then in front of Krishna, no artificiality or no lies or no trickery can stand in front of Krishna. If Krishna would have opened his eyes and seen, Putana would have been forced to come in her original form. And this would have made his mother afraid, Krishna's mother afraid. So just thinking of his mother and the other innocent people of Raja, he was closing his eyes. Some more reasons are there. I'm just trying to recollect. Yeah, one another reason is inside in the body of Krishna, many souls also reside. So all these souls, they had become afraid to see the form of Putana. So Krishna just closed his eyes and assured them, "Don't worry, I will take care of her." Another reason why Krishna closed his eyes, because he was ashamed to see this demon who had killed so many other small children, murdered the small children. Another reason why Krishna closed his eyes, because he was angry at Putana. Because Putana had the had the intention that after killing Krishna, I'll go and kill other people in Vrindavan also. So he was angry that how dare this demoness could think that she could harm in my presence to anyone in Vrindavan. So you see, there are so many parallel, inconceivable. The acharyas have given few reasons, but we cannot say that Krishna thought only of these points. It is an inconceivable parallel thought process where Krishna is analyzing so many things, and that too in a moment. And what he did to this person, just because he accepted some milk from the breast of Putana, he gave her the position of mother. Kamva dayalum sharanam vrajema. Where in the entire existence will we find someone more merciful than he who granted the position of mother to a she demon, although she was unfaithful and she prepared deadly poison to be sucked from her breast? The name of that poison was Kalakut. Aho bakiyam stana Kalakutam. That is the beauty. This is the merciful nature of this boss. We may be bad, but he sees only good in us. So the son of Vyasdev, Shukdev Goswami, had left home, just like Vyasdev, as soon as he had taken birth. But Vyasdev sent his disciples and he asked him to go and recite this verse, Aho Bakiyam Stanakala Kutam, in front of Shukdev Goswami. And Shukdev Goswami, when he heard this, he became so attracted. He was a Brahmagyani right from birth. Mukta Jivatma, liberated soul right from birth. But even he got attracted to the qualities of Krishna. This proves that even the great Paramahamsas, the Brahmagyanis, the Brahmavadis, the liberated souls, even they get attracted to Krishna when they hear about the pastimes of Krishna. And when Shukdev Goswami heard this, he said, "What are you speaking? And who is this person whom you are talking about? Kamva Dayalum Sharanam Vrajema. Who is this person?" Then the disciples say, "This is Srimad Bhagavatam, composed by your father. We are talking about Krishna. If you want to know further, please come back to your house. Your father is waiting for you." And then Shukdev Goswami comes back to ashram of Vyasdev, Ved Vyas, and he sits there and he reads the whole Srimad Bhagavatam, and then he again leaves. And then finally he meets Parikshit Maharaj and tells him the whole of Bhagavatam. Now, I'll take you to another pastime. Today's day is the day of pastimes. Yatsevaya charana padma pavitra renum sadyah क्षताखिलमलं प्रतिलब्ध शीलं न श्रीर्विरक्तमपि मां विजहाति यस्यः प्रेक्षा लवार्थ इतरे नियमान वहन्ति. Lord Vishnu continued, the Lord continued, "Because I am the servitor of my devotees, my lotus feet have become so sacred that they immediately wipe out all sin, and I have acquired such a disposition that the goddess of fortune does not leave me even though I have no attachment for her, while others praise her beauty and observe sacred vows to secure from her even a slight favor." So this is another pastime. The four Kumaras, Sanat, Sanatan, Sanandan, and Sanak Kumar, they have actually entered the Vaikuntha planets, one of the Vaikuntha planets, and they have crossed various doors of Vaikuntha. But on the seventh door, they have been stopped by Jay and Vijay, and they curse Jay and Vijay. And when Lord Vishnu comes out to settle the situation between his devotees and four Kumaras, he makes this statement. But the Bhagavatam describes the entry of Lord Vishnu in the scene in some 8 or 9 verses. Amazing. First of all, there are some 20 verses describing how Vaikuntha looks like, how the people of Vaikuntha look like, how the atmosphere of Vaikuntha is. Full description is there. And then next 8 or 9 verses, the entry of Lord Vishnu in the scene. Anybody who has any sense of beauty, understanding of beauty, when you read these descriptions of the Lord, you will understand that there is Krishna or Vishnu is the last word in beauty. There is nothing more beautiful than Krishna. And still the Mayavadis say that he has no form. So anyways, Lord Vishnu enters the scene and the statement, but before making the statement, the four Kumaras, they have got the smell of Tulsi, which is coming from the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. And simply by getting the smell of Tulsi, their heart has changed. These four Kumaras, they are telling that we are liberated souls right from birth. We are Brahmavadis. We are not Mayavadis. We are Brahmavadis. We have got nothing to do with the material world only in one way. Otherwise, had they been materialists or had they been affected by any kind of contamination, they wouldn't have been able to enter Vaikuntha. They actually entered Vaikuntha. Of course, the seventh door of Vaikuntha is after which the Vaikuntha actually begins. They couldn't enter that. Why? Because they had offended Jay and Vijay. Had they not offended Jay and Vijay, who are the personal associates of Lord Krishna, some acharyas comment that they would have experienced dasya rasa or servant, or they would have actually got some service to do for Lord Vishnu. But because they had offended the devotees of Lord Vishnu, Jay and Vijay, so therefore they were stopped at the Shantarasa. Shantarasa means just seeing the Lord, feeling very great, feeling very happy, being absorbed, always thinking of Krishna, never forgetting of Krishna, but not being able to do any service. So it is said by the acharyas that because they offended Jay and Vijay, that is why they could not progress further in the path, at that point of time, in the path of higher mellows in Krishna consciousness or higher rasas in Krishna consciousness. However, simply by getting the smell of the Tulsi, which was coming from the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu, their heart changed. They started discussing with each other, what is this unexplainable, unmeasurable bliss which I am experiencing, which we have never experienced before? That means even the liberated Paramahamsas, liberated souls, even they get attracted to the paraphernalia of the Lord. And then finally, when they are stunned, when their body is shivering, when their hairs are standing, when tears are flowing out of their eyes, when their throat has been choked, when they want to speak but they are not being able to speak, when their mind is not working, when their heart is simply overwhelmed, in that situation, simply by smelling the lotus feet, the Tulsi which is coming from the lotus feet of the Lord, when they are standing like this, four Kumaras, at that time Lord Vishnu makes an entry and he makes this statement, because I am the servitor of my devotees. Now, people may say boss means boss is sitting on my head and simply controlling me. But see what the Supreme Boss actually thinks. How the mind of Krishna is working, or Lord Vishnu is working, is explained here. The Supreme Lord is thinking, because I am the servitor of my devotees, my lotus feet have become so sacred that they immediately wipe out all the sin, and I have acquired such a disposition. So he's thinking that the pratap of my charan, the greatness of my presence and my lotus feet, this much greatness is there. Why? Because I am serving my devotees. The Supreme Boss is not thinking that I am the Supreme Boss. Although he is the Supreme Boss, he is Swarat. He has no other origin and he is the cause of all causes. But he himself is thinking that I am getting this greatness because I am serving my devotees. That means there is a constant competition between the boss and the subordinates to serve each other. And the Supreme Boss is thinking like this, that because I am the servitor of my devotees, my lotus feet have become so sacred that they immediately wipe out all sin, and I have acquired such a disposition that even Lakshmi does not leave me. So hidden meaning here is that if we become of the devotees of the Lord, Lakshmi follows us. What Lord Vishnu is saying, that even though I have no attachment for her, I don't want Lakshmi, but still she always stays with me and does not leave me. And there are so many other people who are doing so many vratas and so many this and that, pujas, vows, to get some mercy from her, but they are not getting. So this is the reason why everybody, although Krishna is the supreme boss, but everybody likes him. Another pastime. Tam tadvad artam upalabhya jagannivasah stotram nishamya dvijahe sah samstuvadbhihi chandomayena garudena samuha yamanash Ayudho Bhagamad Ashuyato Gajendraha. So this is the Gajendra pastime. It is said in the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd chapter, Shloka 31, after understanding the awkward condition of Gajendra, who had offered, Gajendra is the elephant king, is an elephant. After understanding the awkward condition of Gajendra, who had offered his prayers, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari, who lives everywhere, appeared with the demigods who were offering prayers to him. Carrying his disc and other weapons, he appeared there on the back of his carrier Garuda with great speed according to his desire. And thus he appeared before Gajendra. So just see, Krishna is not just attached to human beings. Even if an elephant offers a prayer to Krishna, many of you may be knowing this Gajendra pastime. I will just to give a link. Again, I will recite this pastime in 5 minutes. Gajendra was in his previous lifetime King Indradyumna. Brihaspati had come, but King Indradyumna was lost and was completely absorbed in his meditation on Lord Krishna. So much so that he was not careful enough to see the arrival of Brihaspati, who is also a great devotee of Lord Krishna. So he could not do proper Vaishnav Seva. The Narad Pancharatra says that if you are performing deity worship, if you are worshipping Krishna, and if some Vaishnav comes, if some devotee of Krishna comes, then you should stop the worship, go and welcome that devotee, and then continue the deity worship. But there are some people, when devotees visit their house, they send a message saying that ask them to sit because sir is doing puja. Sir बोले हैं कि आप बैठिए, वो पूजा कर रहे हैं, पूजा करके आएंगे. This is like stupidity. If a devotee of Lord Krishna comes, you should leave the worship of Lord Krishna also and first welcome the devotee. So somehow King Indradyumna couldn't follow this principle, so he was cursed by Brihaspati to become an elephant in his next life. But when Indradyumna fell at the lotus feet of Brihaspati, he said that as an elephant, you will become the cause of the descent of the Lord in this material world, and that will be your last birth, and Lord will personally take you home back to God. So you see, the curse of the great saintly personalities is actually a blessing in disguise. So Gajendra, he was living on the Trikut mountain, and the glory of Gajendra is described that when he used to walk, the whole mountains would shake. He had many, many wives, and the beautiful lakes of Trikuta mountain are described, and I don't remember the exact descriptions. So he was playing along with his family members in the lake, just like an elephant plays. But all of a sudden, a crocodile came and caught the lotus feet of Gajendra. And it is said that when this happened, his family members left him. They ran to save their own lives out of water. His family members didn't help him. And this fight between Gajendra and the crocodile lasted for 100 celestial years. Even demigods were interested to see who will win. Gajendra was an animal of the land, so he was more powerful on the land. And crocodile is an animal of water, so the crocodile was more powerful than Gajendra in the water. After trying for several years, now each and every point which I'm saying is worth a separate seminar. My Guru Maharaj talks a lot about Gajendra Moksha. Anyways, after a lot of attempt, when Gajendra saw that he is becoming weaker and weaker and the crocodile is getting an upper and upper hand, at that point of time, Gajendra, he remembers In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto mattah smritir jnanam apohanam cha vedaishcha sarvair aham eva vedyo vedant krid ved vid eva chaham. That I am seated in the heart of all living entities as Paramatma, and from me comes knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness. So Krishna gave this Gajendra, the elephant, the remembrance of the prayers which he had memorized in his previous lifetime as King Indradyumna. And he started reciting the prayers. There was a lotus in the pond. He just broke that lotus and offered it to Lord Vishnu. And he started reciting these prayers. The Acharyas comment here that Lord Vishnu was having some personal pastime with Mother Lakshmi at that point of time. But when he heard Gajendra reciting these prayers, he just left. Mother Lakshmi was asking, where are you going? He didn't even answer. He just left from there. The Angvastra of Mother Lakshmi was still in the hand of Lord Vishnu. He came and he sat on Garuda and he told Garuda to run to the material world where Gajendra is there. But Garuda was slow. So what Lord Vishnu did, he put Garuda on his shoulder and he himself flew to that position. And quickly he reached there in a moment. And then immediately he took out his Sudarshan Chakra and beheaded the crocodile. Now there is another history behind this crocodile. Why this crocodile was also a demigod, and why he had caught hold of the lotus feet of a devotee called Gajendra. Another pastime, not taking it right now. But the crocodile was delivered and the Gajendra was taken back to God. Some acharyas comment, the acharyas of the Sri Sampradaya comment that when Gajendra offered a lotus flower, Lord Vishnu caught it, and since that time he has always been looking at this lotus flower and smelling at this lotus flower, thinking, my devotee has offered me this flower with so much love and affection in the times of distress. How can I ever leave this lotus flower? So since that time, the Shankh, Chakra and Gada Pushpa, that Pushp is there in the hand of Lord Vishnu. So this is the love which the Supreme Boss has. He does not just love Manav. He does not just want Manav Kalyan. He wants Jan full Kalyan. Everybody's Kalyan he wants. So another pastime. This is the last pastime. This is from the 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where Lord Vishnu is telling to Durvasa Muni, Naham Atmanam Ashase Madbhaktahir Sadhubhir Vina Shriyam Chat Yantikim Brahman Yesham Gatiraham Para. O best of the Brahmanas, without saintly persons for whom I am the only destination, I do not desire to enjoy my transcendental bliss, my supreme opulences. So for this supreme boss, unlike the mundane boss who wants to enjoy and exploit others, he is saying that no matter what, I don't want to live in Vaikuntha if my devotees are not there. So just to give the link, I will recite this pastime also. So there was a great devotee of Lord Krishna whose name was Ambarish Maharaj. He was a grihastha. He was a great king of the world. Durvasa Muni happened to come there. And he saw that the people, Durvasa Muni is a great yogi, a great mystical yogi. There's no limit to the Siddha Shakti of Durvasa Muni. Lord Durvasa Muni is also non-different from Lord Shiva. So you can say expansion of Lord Shiva in one way. So Durvasa Muni came there and he saw that everybody is worshipping Ambarish Maharaj. So Durvasa Muni thought that let me go and see who is this great personality. He is just a king, a material. King is always supposed to be absorbed in material, mundane affairs. This is a king. He's a householder, not even a sannyasi. Why should people worship him? Let me go and check out. So when he went and saw the great Vaishnava etiquette and qualities which Ambarish Maharaj was showing and displaying, he was impressed. But at the same time, Durvasa Muni became envious. That why does a yogi perform so many austerities to achieve so many siddhis and powers, only so that he can show it in front of others. He can walk on water. He can become smaller than the smallest, bigger than the biggest. He can get whatever he wants. He can control some lions and snakes. Why does he do all this? So that he can get puja, labh, man, and pratishtha from others. This is the inner desire of every yogi. Because he wants people to think he is great. So when Durvasa Muni saw this, he became a little envious. And I am here, and instead of me, people are worshipping a king, a materialist king. But Amrish Maharaj was faultless, flawless. So what Durvasa Muni did, that was the day of Dwadashi, or between Ekadashi and Dwadashi. So Durvasa Muni went to have a bath in the river, but he extended his stay in the river. So by that time, in those days, the entire kingdom used to observe Ekadashi, and those who wouldn't observe Ekadashi, they would be punished by the king. Prabhupada comments on the purpose that this is real secularism. Ensuring that the religious principles are nicely enforced, ensuring that a Brahmana is actually working like a Brahmana, Kshatriya is truly working like a Kshatriya. The principles of God consciousness are actually being implemented at all possible levels. This is true secularism. Present day secularism is that we don't care what you are, we don't care what you believe. Don't bring your so-called religion out of your house. Just keep paying me the taxes, and after that go to hell, we don't care. This is present day secularism, which is not secularism. So Amrish Maharaj's kingdom, everybody used to observe Ekadashi. And Yatha Raja Tatha Praja. So on the day of Dwadashi, the time to break the fast had come. But Durvasa Muni was there, someone having a bath. So the ministers of Amrish Maharaj, they came and advised him that, see, the whole Praja is waiting for you to break the fast. And the time of breaking fast is crossing. It is inauspicious not to break the fast in the proper time on a Dwadashi. It is considered as an offense. But Amrish Maharaj was saying, see, I have a guest at my home. He's my Atithi. Before him, how can I break the fast? He is also fasting. So on the advice of his ministers, he broke the fast by drinking 1 drop of water. Now, drinking a drop of water can be considered as breaking fast, and also simultaneously can be considered as not breaking the fast also, philosophically. So when he did that, and the news spread that the king has broken his fast, the whole Praja broke the fast, and the normal schedule of Dwadasi started, the Durvasa Muni came to know of this in his mystic meditation. And he came back very angry, and he said, you, king, you cannot uphold the moral principles of society. I am an Atithi at your home, and you broke the fast before me. And therefore he tore some part of the hair from his head, and then he threw it on the ground, and from there came a great demon, a fire demon. And Durvasa Muni ordered the demon to go and kill Amrish Maharaj. Amrish Maharaj, looking at the demon, he did not become afraid. It is said that when the demon was approaching him, he did not step 1 inch back also. He was simply remembering Krishna. Rakhe Krishna, mare Krishna, rakhe ke. With that sense of humility and confidence, he just stood there. It is said that he did not even take the endeavor to pray to Krishna that, oh Krishna, please come and save me. He didn't even say that. He just stood there. And immediately Lord Vishnu released his Sudarshan Chakra from Vaikuntha, and within no time the Vaikuntha came in that scene. The Sudarshan came in that scene, and the Sudarshan annihilated that fire demon, and then it started chasing Durvasa. Durvasa went first to the demigods requesting help. Demigods couldn't help him. Then he went to Brahma. Brahma couldn't help him. Then finally he went to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva also couldn't help him. However, he got advice that he should go to Vaikuntha. Just imagine the mystical potency of Durvasa. Within 1 year, he was able to travel all throughout the universe, and he was able to go personally to the Kshira Sagar and talk face to face with Lord Vishnu. And therefore, and at that point, he surrendered to Lord Vishnu, and he said, you are the Sarva Karana Karanam, you save me. At that time, Lord Vishnu makes a statement. He says, Aham bhakta paradhino na swatantra ivadvijaha. He says, Lord Vishnu says that I am under the control of my devotees. Aham bhakta paradhino na swatantra ivadvijaha. I am not at all independent. third line I'm somewhat forgetting. Sadhubir ghasta hridayam. The saintly people, they have, I stay in their heart, they stay in my heart, and my heart has become completely captured by these sadhus. Sadhubir ghasta hridayam, bhakter bhakta janapriya. What to speak of my devotees? Those who are the devotees of my devotees are also very dear to me. These are the statements of Lord Vishnu. So Lord Vishnu indirectly says that, see, I cannot save you. Sudarshana has been launched at you because you offended my devotee. Only when my devotee, aham bhakta paradhino, I am not at all independent. When my devotee will order Sudarshan Chakra that you do not disturb Durvasa Muni, then you will be saved. And then he makes this statement, Naham Atmanam Ashase Mad Bhaktay Sadhubhir Vina. He says that I'm not independent. In fact, without the saintly persons for whom I am the only destination, I do not desire to enjoy my transcendental bliss and my supreme opulences. And therefore, Lord Vishnu rightfully directs Durvasa Muni to go to Ambrish Maharaj and beg forgiveness from him. And only when Ambrish Maharaj will forgive him, will he be able to stop Sudarshan. Otherwise, he said, Sudarshan is not in my control. Like that, Lord Vishnu joked. So when Durvasa Muni came back, after roaming throughout the universe, having reached the Kshir Sagar, and after coming back from there, and all this happened in just 1 year. So just imagine the mystic siddhi of Durvasa Muni. He was the transcendental spaceman moving from one planet to another. So when he actually came back, Ambrish Maharaj was fasting from 1 year because he was sad. See the mood of a devotee. He was not like, mere ko marne ka koshish kiya. Now Sudarshan has come and he will kill you now. Very good. Acha hua. So Maharaj Ambrish was not thinking like that. He was sad that in his house a Brahmana has been offended. So he was fasting from 1 year, and when Durvasa Muni finally comes, he falls down at the feet of Maharaj Ambrish, catching hold of his feet. He begged for forgiveness and he requested him to stop the Sudarshan. And then Sudarshan, whom even great personalities like Brahma and Shiva could not tolerate the heat of Sudarshan. Maharaj Ambrish just raised his hand and he said, Sudarshan, that you please forgive him, kindly return back. Simply on this one statement, Sudarshan left that scene and returned back. Please take note that it is not that Sudarshan could not kill Durvasa Muni or Durvasa Muni was very fast and Sudarshan could not catch up. No. Sudarshan was just chasing Durvasa Muni. If Sudarshan wanted, he would have in 1 second killed Durvasa Muni. But Lord Vishnu wanted to bring out a principal statement that you can be a yogi and you could have amassed many, many powers, and my devotee could be a normal king, a grihastha, with absolutely no yogic powers. But because he is my devotee, all your yogic powers have to take shelter of his lotus feet. This is the point which Lord Vishnu was trying to make. Just like a small son, he need not be strong if his father is strong. There may be so many strong people, but a small child has full confidence in his father. A small child is as strong as his father. So Durvasa Muni was dependent on his own powers, but Ambrish Maharaj was literally as strong as Vishnu simply by being dependent on Vishnu. So these are the transcendental characteristics of our boss, Lord Krishna. Now, who will not fall in love with such a boss? On that, I have based the practical tip of the day. So many pastimes of the Lord, especially we can learn many leadership qualities from it. So therefore, the practical tip of the day is to become a good leader. And how we can become a good leader? Simply by chanting the holy names of Krishna and meditating on the name, form, qualities, and pastimes of Krishna. And by deriving leadership sutras from the pastimes of Krishna, we can become a good leader. So the practical tip of today is become a good representative of the Lord. See the good in team members and fan them. This we can learn from the Putana pastime. Krishna saw only good in Putana. So similarly, see the good in team members and fan them. Be a servant than a boss. Lord Vishnu came and took control of the situation when his servants, Jay and Muni, Jay and Vijay, were in a problem. In fact, the statements which Lord Vishnu makes is that servants are the representative of the master. So the mistake of the servant has to be considered as the mistake of the master. So therefore, Lord Vishnu was folding his hands and begging forgiveness. So be a servant than a boss. This we can learn from 4 Kumaras and Vishnu. Be with people in their bad times. Gajendra Moksh. He could have said, I'm having antarang pastimes with Lakshmi. Gajendra, you're just an elephant. Either take care of yourself or be dead. But our supreme boss, whether it be a man or a woman or a cat or a dog or an elephant, is always with people in their bad times. This we can learn from Gajendra Moksh. And happiness or distress, face it as a team. Durvasa Muni, when he approached Lord Vishnu, Vishnu didn't throw him out of the Vaikuntha saying that you have offended my devotee. No. When Durvasa Muni came and took shelter of Lord Vishnu, immediately Lord Vishnu started playing as a team member of Durvasa Muni, and then he started explaining him that Aham Bhakta Paradhino. He gave him the right advice that if you really want to be saved from Sudarshan, go and take shelter of Amrish. In that way, he saved Durvasa. So he was acting as a team player. Happiness or distress, face it as a team. In fact, Bhagavatam says that the distress which Durvasa Muni was facing, Lord Vishnu was feeling that distress also. So there is so much more to learn from the pastimes of the Supreme Boss. Now, after having known all this, who will not fall in love with the Supreme Lord or the Supreme Boss? Therefore, although Krishna is the Supreme Boss, but he is all attractive. How to worship that Supreme Lord? I've already explained it in various verses. Krityadhyayato Vishnum Tretayam Yayato Makhay Dvapare Paricharyayam Kalau Tadhari Kirtanat. Whatever result was obtained in Kali Yuga by meditating on the lotus feet of Vishnu. Meditating on Vishnu in Treta Yuga by performing sacrifices, and in Dwapar Yuga by serving the Lord's lotus feet, can be obtained in Kali Yuga simply by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Same thing is being told in this mantra also. It is from Kali Santarana Upanishad. Homework for today. Learn the Bhagavad Gita, shloka number 9.10. Mayadhyakshena prakritihi suyate sacharacharam. That one. Etunanena kaunteya jagat viparivartate. Simple shloka. Meditate on it. In fact, I have not written here, but it is my desire that all of you learn the first shloka of the 5th chapter of Brahma Samhita. Ishwaraha Paramaha Krishnaha Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govindah Sarvakarana Karanam, and meditate on it. In fact, if you can sing the whole Brahma Samhita also, sometimes it is very, very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. Whenever we perform Abhishekam ceremony in our temple of Krishna Balram or Radha Krishna, we sing Brahma Samhita. It is really wonderful. Nobody can write verses like Lord Brahma. Topmost poetry, topmost compositions, excellent grammar, out of this world grammar, and out of this world, it is beyond words. Like what? And a living entity of Kali Yuga, fallen conditioned soul like me, how can we even begin to describe the composition of Brahma? So please read Brahma Samhita. It is very nice. Please answer the quizzes which we do and participate in book distribution. Please chant fixed number of rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra every day. Kindly ensure that your Jap Mala and that you have your Jap Mala in Bhagavad Gita. At this point of time, you know what? I would like to discuss something about the book distribution. And I would like to show you something. So what I will do for some time, I will stop the live stream now, because I want to show you some videos of Srila Prabhupada where he's talking about book distribution so that we can understand the importance of book distribution. But there is a small problem when we are doing live, and inside a live stream, if we show another YouTube video, then the YouTube flags it saying that copyright and things like that. So just to avoid that, I will stop the live stream. The session is essentially over. I just want to talk a little bit about book distribution. So this part will not be on YouTube, but I will stop it and I will show you. Don't disconnect the class. I will